Here's my friends. For example, there's a certain nerve that initiates the heartbeat. And if you didn't have that nerve, if that nerve just suddenly died, you would die. And you could get a pacemaker if you could get to the hospital in time, but if it was sudden, there would be nothing that you could do to keep your heart beating. And this is a very good metaphor for the problems that have arisen in the peoples who normally tend these sort of energetic mechanisms. I, as a shamanistic organ, act as a sort of spiritual conduit, and the conductance of that is a fairly vital role that that we have in our world. That spiritual continuity is very important, and that which provides that is in a sense a vital part of our functioning as a group, as a whole. And I feel like our culture has been, or perhaps is being, lobotomized, and systematically so, perhaps intentionally so. We are being dumbed down by certain agencies, by certain elements. They're basically parasites. They're basically living off of the functioning organism, what's left of the functioning organism. And when that organism, when the creative parts of the organism, when the parts that are the creative, productive parts of the organism, as they fail more and more, the culture is going to collapse. And I find that very sad. I find that one of the saddest things, and one of the most difficult things to express to especially this younger generation, who simply does not have the historical perspective, the recent historical perspective on the way things have been going. You would never say to your lungs or your liver, "You're either with me or you're against me." You would never treat your lungs or your liver as the enemy. That would be a terrible mistake. Nevertheless, I believe that metaphor is fairly appropriate under the circumstances. Most people don't realize that one of the coups, one of the beneficiaries of the September 11th tragedy was the tobacco companies. That the Department of Justice's lawsuits and the civil lawsuits against the tobacco companies here in the United States were destroyed on that day, and as was the antitrust against the Microsoft Corporation. That all that work that the Clinton administration had done to try to bring about reform in the software industry. And while these entities may not have necessarily been responsible for what happened. I think if you look at the direction things have gone since then, those were definitely the good old days, and the suffering that has happened with the U.S. economy is incredible, and we cannot continue to be dismantling our creative and productive engines and poisoning our air and allowing our people to be poisoned without repercussions, without consequences for this. And it's just tragic. I just feel like the U.S. government is one huge crime scene right now. It's just one giant criminal scene, and we're going to be cleaning up the mess for a very, very, very long time.